Welcome to another WPHubSite Getting Started video. This video is going to go over creating a new post for your website. We already went over pages in another video. That's to create main pages for your website like home, contact, things like that. Posts are for blog posts. Anything you post to your blog is going to be done through posts. So this video is going to help you create your first blog post for your WPHubSite website. Now, as far as creating a new post, there are two ways you can do it. You can go into posts over here and then go into add new, or from anywhere on the front end, you can go to new up here and then to post. So if I'm on the front end here, you see I have new, and then I can create a post from anywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So when you create a new post, the first time you come in here, you're going to have a tutorial. If you want to go through that, that's just a standard WordPress blog post tutorial or post tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and dismiss that, but there are a few important things that you need to go through in order to create your first post. So the first thing for new posts is you're going to want to put a title in. This may not be the final title for your post, but you'll want to put like your working title in. Hopefully you have some kind of process for what goes in there. Start with a working title, then once you're done with the post, then you might go and revise and change the name of it. So I'm just going to put a temporary name in here. Before we get too deep into actually making a post and using the blocks and all that stuff, there's some options that you want to make sure you get right and set from the beginning, or at least know about from the beginning. The status and visibility section, it's very similar to pages. I went over it in depth in the pages video. I'll go over it a little more brief here because you may have already seen this, and if not, you can go back to the pages video and watch that. So visibility, you can make blog posts visible to the public. You can make them private, so only admins and people on the back end of your website can see it. And you can also password protect blog posts. So you can choose which option you'd like in there. You can also, this is really great because you can schedule blog posts for a later date. So you can write it on the weekend and then you can schedule it to post Monday morning or whatever date your schedule is. You don't necessarily want to post a new business post on a Sunday morning. Best time to publish that's probably a Monday morning because you're going to get the most traction from that post then. So to select that, you just click immediately and select the date you would like to publish the post. And then that, if you notice, the publish button up here turns to schedule. So you're scheduling the post in the future instead of posting it immediately. And then there's also this post format drop down. You don't need to change anything there. Selecting one of those isn't going to change anything in your blog post unless you've set up custom CSS for each type of blog post. It will add some class tags in there so you can control those with CSS, but otherwise that setting's pretty useless. Just out of the box, so I wouldn't bother messing with it. And then you can also choose to make a blog post sticky. So that's going to keep it stuck on the top of your blog post page. So no matter what other blog posts you post after this one, anything you have stuck to the top with the stick to the top of the blog is going to stay there, always at the top. And then you can also use things like pending review. You may want to have the content reviewed before it's actually published. So if you select pending review, it's not going to publish until it's actually reviewed and approved. And then you can also move posts to the trash. So if your post is saved as draft, then you're going to have this permalink option. This is a very important setting to choose. It's probably going to be based off of your keyword, not your full blog post. WordPress takes your full blog post and creates the slug, or aka permalink, off of that. But you definitely want to do some modifications and change it yourself. So you want to remove any extraneous words and just stick to your keywords. The shorter the permalink, the better. So permalinks like your domain.com/ whatever is the permalink. So that's how WordPress is going to create the URL for your blog post. So that's a very important setting to customize yourself. Don't just let WordPress choose whatever your title is. Another thing you're going to want to set up, you may do this after you write your blog post, but categories. Those are essential for a well-organized blog that is easy to navigate for people. So you're going to want to categorize your blog posts depending on what the content is. Tags, that's like kind of like an index in the back of a book. So if you want to look up a word or something or some kind of overarching topic that may be a little bit more specific than the category, tags are good for that. You'll likely have more tags than categories, but also you want to keep those under control and not create too many tags. You can just type those right in here and then hit enter, and there's a tag, and then you can remove it by clicking the X. Pretty easy. You can also, I should point out, you can add categories right from the blog post. So another thing you're definitely going to want to add for each blog post is a featured image. Those are usually used at the top of your post. They're used when sharing it on social media. Those are essential for a good blog that also looks good when shared on social media. So make sure you upload a featured image. Just like a Twitter size image is good, 1024 pixels by like 512 pixels. You can really, choose whatever size works for you and your blog, but make sure you stick to the same size, the same dimensions for each image. And then also, you don't need to use an excerpt, but you can. If you don't use an excerpt, then a lot of places on your blog will take the first 55 characters or so of your post, but you can write a custom excerpt for each one, and it'll use that. Like on the blog roll page where it shows a list of all your recent blog posts, it'll show the title and then the excerpt if you've written them. Otherwise, it's going to choose the first 55 characters or something in your post. And then discussion. By default for blog posts, comments are on. You can also turn them off for specific blog posts. You can even turn them off for all blog posts if you choose. That's done in the settings, and I go over that in the WPHubSite WordPress settings video. And then as far as allow pingbacks and trackbacks, I would really recommend not messing around with those. Those are a huge burden. They'll just create a lot of spam for you. So just leave that off. They're off by default. Stick to the defaults on that. And then in the WPHubSite theme settings section, you can customize specific blog posts to look certain ways. You can just stick to how blog posts look or single posts look from the customizer when you set those settings up. That's the WPHubSite theme settings. It's going to pull the defaults for those if you leave it as customizer settings. Otherwise, you can select like a custom left sidebar for one blog post. Maybe you want one blog post different. You can choose all those settings in here. So once you get all those settings on the right-hand side all done, then you're going to want to come over here to this section, and this is where you start writing your blog post. You can just click right in the blog post section, and you can write a line of text. So once you're done typing a line of text, you can just hit enter, and that creates a new paragraph or block. Each paragraph is a block. So you just hit enter, and it's going to create a paragraph block. If you want to add something different, like an image or a title, something like that, then you can either use the quick block icons over here, or you can click the plus icon and choose a block type. There's all kinds of different blocks you can add. I'm going to put in an image, and then you can upload the image from your computer. You can choose one from the media library, or you can insert from a URL. Just make sure you're inserting legal content that you have the ability to use. You can drag a file into this block right from your computer, or you can use the upload and select it from your computer. I'm going to choose one from the media library though. I chose these friendly folks, and then you also have little quick options up here that you can do. You can change the alignment to center. You can also You can do all kinds of, you can make images links. Basically every block has little quick options up here. As you click on them, you can see these options change. So I can center text, I can make it bold, I can make it italic, I can even make any word a link. Back to the image though, you'll also notice that over on the right here is a block tab. This tab changes depending on what block you have selected. So for this one, I'm going to get options for an image, so I can type in alt text. I can change the image size that WordPress uses. You can also change image dimensions by pixels. I would not recommend using those settings, but you can if you find it useful for you. And then that tab changes depending on what block you're on. Like this, I'm now selecting paragraphs, so I can change font size, and I can make the first letter a drop cap. So you can do all kinds of formatting like that. Keep in mind you have all these options over here, and these let you move blocks around real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and click these little dots here. That gives me more options for this block. So maybe I want to add a block before the image. So I can quickly do that here, and I can type in a title. I didn't make this a title block yet. I just typed it as text, but if I click on this icon, then I can choose a heading. I can also make it list. I can basically convert this block into something else. So I'm going to convert it into a heading, and you can change the heading level right here. Those just give you a few options, but over on the block tab here, you'll notice there's a whole bunch more options. So that's how you create different blocks, edit, use the quick settings here, organize the blocks, and also change the settings for the block. And then you can also get back to the document settings on the document tab here. Now, some really helpful things to get to know in the blog post is this little information icon. Well, first of all, you can add a new block up here also, but you can undo things that you've been doing, you can redo. But this little information icon is very helpful because it shows you your overall content structure. So it'll show you your post title and the overall headings in your post, and also words, all this information. So that's really helpful to see. And then you can also navigate through your blocks real quick with this icon. Now there's also, so I'm going to come down here and I'm going to add some items here, but I'm going to make this a list. So I'm going to convert this into a list. So there I have list item 1, item 2, and item 3. But say I want a sub item, so I can come up, sub item under 2. So I can come up here to 2, hit enter, and see this little icon allows me to indent that to a sub item 1. And I can also change this list to a numbered list. That's going to just change that item, but I can highlight this whole thing, change all of it to a numbered list. Once I'm done with my post, I have this one ready to schedule right now, but say I want to publish it now. So I'm going to publish this post. I just hit the publish icon, and then it's going to give me a little check, make sure I have everything all set up and ready to go, make sure I haven't left off categories, anything like that. And then I just hit the publish button. And then there it is. It's going to give me a link to it. So I copy the link to the blog post, or I can just close this little thing and it's going to say public. Now that blog post is public. I can click the little view post icon here, blog post title, and all this information. And if I want to edit the post, if I'm on the front end, I can go to edit post from that blog post, and it's going to bring me back to the editor. If I want to see all my blog posts and just jump quickly to edit one, then I come to all posts over here on the left, and there's all my blog posts. As you see, I've been kind of busy posting just test blog posts, but every single one I hover over, I can quick view it, so I can change some, quickly change the title of it, the slug, the date, different things, or I can go directly to editing the post, and that's going to bring me right to the editor. And you can see these are larger blocks of text. and then I can, change it to center. I'm not going to keep that. And then you can also, from this list, trash blog post or go right to the front end. This brings me to the front end of the post. I'm going to view the post again, and there it is. So that's my first blog post that I showed you. So hopefully you got a few little pointers and things that will help you make your first blog post on here. And then, of course, there's some resources in the description down below under this video. So feel free to browse those and click on some of those links. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below or just contact me. I'm always available to reach out to learn how to better use WPHubSite. So I will answer any questions that you have. So thanks for watching this video and have a great day. Bye-bye.